Yeah, hi, I'm Jens. I'm the community and product manager of openITCOCKPIT. openITCOCKPIT is an umbrella framework you will get to know. Sorry for the slides, they are still in German because it was a very spontaneous talk. So all of the slides are in German, but I will translate it or try to translate it in a live performance into English. Yeah, what's the agenda? We want to have a look how changes in the IT, so from bare metal installations to microservices, what are the advantages of IT monitoring? So what have you to do in this case? If you have end-of-life worries, then maybe you use SAP and you have an SAP monitoring and sub-solution manager ends. Where can get it from you if you have some options to solve it, and we will have a deeper look. So what's the case? We started from the beginning. We have bare metal installations, so you have only one system where your application runs, and if this system is not running anymore, then your application is not working. So it's pretty easy to use a monitoring system, and at this stage in time, it was pretty easy because you could take a 6 dice and you can roll it, and then you can take one monitoring system. In this case, I think you mentioned Nagios, Zabbix, iSinger, openITCOCKPIT, and you do the monitoring in this case. Then we get the next step, it's the virtualization, and it's becoming more complex. So if you have your VMware, then you are not knowing where the application is running or where the host is running. So you need to adapt your monitoring because it can be run on this host or it can be run on this host, and it can be changed from this host and moved to another host. So it's more complex. Coming to cloud computing, beginning in the 2000s, it's even more complex because you don't know where your machine is exactly running, and you have no influence where it's running because it's in the cloud. So you have another approach for the monitoring, and it's getting more complex. We have containerization, so it's not important if your machine runs because the container can die and it's spawned up in a new container. So it's becoming more and more difficult until now to microservices. And if you have microservices, then you have also a capsulated application. And in each step, you have different monitoring technologies. Yeah, this is the hard part in English, sorry for that. I have to think about a little bit. If the steering of your company becomes also more complex because everything is digitalized, so you don't have some processes where you don't need the IT. In 50% of the big companies in Germany, you have the case that you are not able to work if you have worries and problems in your IT. So if you have a fault, you are not able to do anything. It's even the same in smaller companies, not that kind, but you have to think about your monitoring. And what's the case? And I think, who of you has only one monitoring in his company? I think no one has only one. I think most of you have at least 2 monitoring systems in the company. And one is iSinger 2, CheckMK, openITCOCKPIT. The second, as a minimum, is Prometheus. And a little bit of the real world, and it's only a small part of the tools you might have, is you have, if you have enough money and no worries, then you buy Dynatrace and Datadog. I finish my presentation. So everyone who has enough money to buy one of these, it's okay if you leave the room and go to the iSinger presentation. If you have not enough money, then please stay here, because you have a tool stack maybe of checkmk, Isinga, to maybe you have for the real application management, SAP solution manager, and for specific applications you have specific tools. You have for the network management your own system, and the open source part, maybe openMS as the monitoring tool. For the commercial part, PRTG as the monitoring. And for the cloud monitoring, you have Prometheus. And Prometheus is pretty ugly. So you have Grafana for the dashboarding. And now it's your choice what you can do. You can use a stack of tools, but open source is cool, but you have multiple tools, you have to configure all of the tools, and it might become very complex because you need the knowledge of every one tool. So you need the knowledge of Grafana, Prometheus, Isinga 2, checkmk for all of your instances. Or you can buy some commercial products. It's not flexible, mostly. If you like to have changes in the application, it's not possible, because if you go to the company and say, oh, I need this individual development, they say, we don't do this. Or they say, yeah, but it's quite expensive. So you have the choice. You can shutter the pick. And yeah, it depends on you what you do. Who uses SAP Solution Manager for the monitoring of the SAP infrastructure? What do you do in 2030? Okay. Hopefully it will work for you. As far as I know, the end of life of the SAP Solutions Manager is in 2027, and the extended maintenance to 2030. We have SAP Cloud ALM as an example, but it provides not the needed tool stack. So the monitoring might become a problem at this time, right at the moment. What now? What do you do in 2030? Maybe Dynatrace? So hopefully, if you have enough money, then use Dynatrace. Ah, okay. In Stana, yeah, I can bring you together with a friend of me. He can tell you the pricing of Instana. It's even the same, like Dynatrace. But okay, so the other thing you can do, you can cry for help, or maybe you have a look at the openITCOCKPIT framework, because openITCOCKPIT works a little bit different. For the SAP monitoring part, we need no solution manager. So we connect directly to the SAP systems. We make some checks using our own agent for the operating system monitoring. We can do it agentless. We can use database configurations to get all of the information out of the database. We have the CCMS for all the metrics out of the RFC calls. We can use RFC connections, and the pretty cool thing is we can use the subcontrol web services, which allows us to make only one connection to the SAP system, get a bunch of information back, and process it in openITCOCKPIT. Yeah, umbrella monitoring with openITCOCKPIT. First of all, we use some CMDBs to get all of the data into openITCOCKPIT. We are Automism. And the next step is we have the monitoring systems like SAP Solution Manager. We connect directly to the systems. We have Nagios Niemann integrated into openITCOCKPIT as the core. For the checking, we have, and we will see this in a live demo, an integration to Isinga 2. So we are able to import everything from iDoIt and Isinga 2 with the status in real time. So if you have a monitoring in Isinga 2, and there is a check, and went to critical as an example. It also went critical in our system in real time, and also the acknowledgement. We have integrated some other tools like PRTG and Prometheus, but right at the moment we will have a look at iSinger2 integration. Yeah, most of all, you need to notify someone. There are some integrations for the most popular messaging systems, and also for the trouble ticketing systems. And overall, you can put openITCOCKPIT, getting all of the information into one tool. In German, it's called eierlegende Wollmilchsau. I'm not sure how it's called in English. You can do everything with openITCOCKPIT. Yeah, then you have some point of views. So as an example, we have the main operation center. So the operation center has a view where they get all of the faults in a very, very compressed way. So they see quick, do we have any problems or not? If you are a technician, then you need a deeper view. So you need to have a view. Is the host working? Are the services working? It's a totally different view you can build up with openITCOCKPIT. If you are the head of the team, then it's more important for you to get an idea if the service itself is running. So if you have a business service like mail, then you have some clusters that have to work. Then you have some tools what have to work. And in this case, you have your business service correlated, and you have your business service correlated over multiple tools. So if you have some information out of iSinger2, then you can correlate it in here. If you have some services from the Niemann core monitored, you can have it here. If you have Prometheus, you can have it here. If you have CheckMK as an example, where we can use all of the agents and special agents from CheckMK, you can correlate it in this case. So you have a lot of tools combined in this one and one correlation. Yeah, and if you are an IT manager, then it's not important for you to see if anything is working. You only want a percentage value, how good it works, and you can also build up your dashboard, in this case, for the CIO, as an example. This is quite cool, thanks to one of our customers. It's a business service overview, so you can build up your business service, like cloud applications, on-prem applications, infrastructure services, and so on. And you have one view where you get correlated all of your business services. You see, you have a host problem as an example, or you have here some host problems, or you have here some service problems, and it's pretty easy to go a little bit deeper and to step ahead to the next one. Yeah, this is a change calendar, so you are able to have a change calendar in openITCOCKPIT, where you can put in the changes, and it's also a combination of tools. So you don't only have the monitoring part. You can use openITCOCKPIT for monitoring, for application monitoring, but you can also say, I put in my changes, and if I have a problem, I can go to the change calendar and can have a look. Oh, okay, there's a change, so it's no problem. Okay, I have to think some minutes, because this is a hard slide in English. You have IT business continuity management. So in this case, you have all of your services in one dashboard integrated. And if you have a failure, in this case, you have to solve it, because everything behind is red. So this part is the infrastructure as an example. So your networking, and if this fails, then this also fails in this case. And if you have a problem right here, you don't have to fix anything here. you have to fix this one. And if this is even red, then you have to fix this one. And if you have something red again here, then you have to fix this one. So you have multiple stages you can define in openITCOCKPIT to get a total overview of your network, of your business services, and the root cause where your problem is pretty easy to find. Yeah, you have to build it up. Yeah, would be pretty cool, but yeah, maybe AI solves this problem in the future. I don't know. But maybe it gives you a suggestion, the AI. Yeah, time for a short live demo. So what we have, I come to the customer and the customer says, okay, I have Icinga 2 running, but I need some values from Prometheus and I need something from iDoIt imported, but I have no centralized overview. And we have this, and then it's simply going into openITCOCKPIT. And this is pretty cool because it's in English, so now it's even easier. And then we have the import module with an object import. And right at the moment we have no assets imported. And now we have the choice. We can do a CSV import as an example to get all of the information into openITCOCKPIT. We can use only iDoIt, so it's only an import of the assets from the CMDB. Or the pretty cool thing is we can import iDoIt and Icinga in combination, or we can import only Icinga to openITCOCKPIT. And we will try the iDoIt and Icinga import. First of all, we connect to the iDoIt CMDB, getting all of the information out of the CMDB. Now it runs against some monitoring systems. In this case, we see external services, and these external services are the same like you see here. In this case, in the service view of Icinga, but totally automated. You don't have to create the services on the openITCOCKPIT side. You only create it on the Icinga 2 side, and it's imported in openITCOCKPIT. And if you change something in Icinga 2, it's also changed in openITCOCKPIT. So you can automate it by running some schedulers to get it automatically in it. The pretty cool thing is you can have multiple monitoring systems. So if you have Icinga 2, PRTG, Op Manager as an example, then it's processed to every monitoring system. So you import it from iDoIt, then you have a look if it's in Icinga 2. The next step, you have a look if it's in PRTG or is it in Op Manager. And then it's also appended. But you can also have your own services appended in an automatic way. So we have the Proxmox servers as an example, and then we have our own services pushed onto the system. And you can also combine it. So I can say, get all of the information out of Icinga 2, append some Prometheus metrics, and append some monitoring metrics from the openITCOCKPIT agent or from some normal Nagios plugins. So now we synchronize it. Make a short configuration refresh. Now everything is added to the openITCOCKPIT, the Niemann core for the monitoring. And as you see, it's pretty fast to get all of the information. And then we might have a look at the file server. So you see the file server, and you see here, right here, in the service overview, there are the same services like in iSinger2. Maybe we give it a short time, or we can reset this one. And you see it's becoming the same like this one. And if we go to this disk check as an example, then you see, okay, it's not acknowledged in openITCOCKPIT, and it's also not acknowledged in iSinger2. And when I go to iSinger2, jump into the service, and acknowledge the problem, it's also acknowledged in openITCOCKPIT in real time. So it's a real combination of both of the tools. And you can use iSinger2 for perfect monitoring, especially if you have stacked monitoring configurations, if you have huge environments with many areas. I think it's called zones. Lennart, correct me if I'm false. If you have many zones, then you can use it in this case, and you can import it into openITCOCKPIT, and you can use it everywhere you like. So it's even the same service in openITCOCKPIT like any other service, and you can use it also in the event correlation. So this is an example of an event correlation, and here you can combine all of your services. And you see it's the service mail as an example, and we have some problems with one of the IMAP servers, so I cannot send out a mail, maybe. So I have a problem with my service mail. And this is a combination of all of the tools. And even the same, I'm able, if I look at the host, to integrate some deeper information. With the CMDB. So if you have a CMDB like iTop or iDoIt, you get additional information into openITCOCKPIT directly. So you don't have to jump into the CMDB to get some information like a contract overview, what contract I have, what CPUs are in my machine. And you get it here. And the pretty cool thing is, does anyone use iDoIt? Does anyone know what iDoIt is? No, okay. Okay, it's a monitoring conference. To be fair, I have to say, I also don't know what iDoIt exactly do. I know it's a multi-tenant Excel sheet, so from my side, but it's the best open source CMDB. And you can build up your service trees as an example. And you can also import it into openITCOCKPIT. So if you have some dependencies defined in the CMDB, then you see it also in this case. Yeah. I hope you get a better understanding what we mean by umbrella monitoring. So maybe you can think about it, how it works in your company, if you have multiple tools, if you have the right view, and if you have not the right view, feel free to ask and come to me. Yeah, thanks for this. It's a little bit... It's a little bit shorter than 45 minutes, sorry for that. But now you have 20 minutes to ask me questions, if you like.
Are there any questions?
Only of interesting, if you change something in your example on a iSinger2 side, those information, let's say a downtime and so on, the downtime is also transported of visibility into ITCOCKPIT, right?
Yeah.
So that means there is a direct connection between systems constantly. If there is a change on the one side, the change will be also, or the information to that will be also transferred to the other side, right?
Yeah. One thing of iSinger 2, what is pretty cool, is the event stream. So you can subscribe to the event stream of iSinger 2 and get all of the information from iSinger using the event stream in real time. And this is what we do. So it's no polling of iSinger that we say we have an API as an example. It's on PRTG as an example. We have to call the API in a timely manner, like 1 minute, and we get all of the information out of PRTG. But in iSinger 2, we subscribe to the event stream, getting all of the information into it and process it directly in openITCOCKPIT. And this is the reason I showed to you the acknowledgement of the service in iSinger. And when I switch to openITCOCKPIT, we have the acknowledgement also in openITCOCKPIT.
Thank you.
If you like, I can try to delete it. And if it not works, one of our core developers is sitting direct left to you. 15 minutes. Yeah. Yeah, maybe also 19.
Any other questions? Yes.
Just because you mentioned the way that you are consuming the event streams, yeah, and because we have some time left here, yeah. Question: let's say that the connection to the event stream fails off, for example, so for like 1 hour or so. What would be the impact? Would state be then corrupted or inconsistent?
No, the state will leave as it is in openITCOCKPIT, so it's no problem. We only don't get the states from iSinger 2 in this case. But maybe we can add an AI integration, which is assuming the state of iSinger 2.
Okay.
This was the second question?
No, it was... sorry. It was just this question. So my question was, if the event stream fails for whatever reason, let's say I've received my states, and then the event stream gets somehow lost, and then it recovers like 1 or 2 hours later, then my question really is, what happens with the events that had been streamed in between, which I did not get here? That was really the question.
Okay. So
because when you do polling, then you could say, well, I do poll, yeah. But if that's basically the question.
Yeah. We lost all of the events when the event stream fails. Yeah. But I think this is normal. So it's no processing, because when we don't get into the event stream, we have no influence.
Hey, so you showed us how you import hosts from the iTop database. I think iTop also can contain like the ITSM services, or and is it possible to import services into the event correlation?
The service itself not right at the moment, but you can import also the service tree. So if you have the service design, it's also imported right here. But if I understand you right, you will import the service you defined in a way like the event correlation, or do you only want to see the service in openITCOCKPIT?
Yeah, if I've designed services or defined services in the iTop database, if it's how is it represented in the IT?
It's the service tree itself is represented like this, but you don't have the correlated monitoring on the service.
Looks like we got all questions answered. Then give it up once more for the spontaneous talk by Jens.